you're rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.
Yamaha rider Fabio Quartararo received sanctions in the form of a €2,000 fine, around 37 million Indonesian rupiah, and a ban on participating in the first 10 minutes of the first free practice session, FP1, of the British MotoGP at the Silverstone circuit. This sanction was imposed after the incident that occurred in the French MotoGP main race at the Le Mans circuit on Sunday. In the rain-soaked race, Quartararo, who started from pole position, crashed at the last corner on the fourth lap. After the crash, he was involved in a dispute with the marshal on duty, which was judged by the stewards as irresponsible behavior and disobeying direct instructions from the marshal, as well as potentially endangering himself and others. Dedicato. Although the fine is relatively small for a rider of Quartararo's class, the ban on appearing at the start of the British MotoGP FP1 session is considered detrimental because it can hamper his preparation for the next race. Until now, Quartararo has not made an official statement regarding the sanctions. And here's the full news. Fabio Quartararo, the Monster Energy Yamaha MotoGP flagship rider, is back in the spotlight after a controversial incident at the French MotoGP which took place at the Le Mans circuit. Not only failed to finish, Quartararo also had to receive sanctions from the FIM MotoGP stewards panel which were considered quite severe. The incident began when Quartararo crashed at the last corner on the fourth lap in slippery track conditions due to rain. After falling, Quartararo looked angry and argued with the marshal who was trying to help. The action was later deemed a violation of safety regulations and ethics on the track. As a result of the incident, Quartararo was fined €2,000 or the equivalent of around 37 million Indonesian rupiah. However, it is not only financial fines that are imposed. He also received a ban from appearing during the first 10 minutes of the first free practice session, FP1, in the next series, namely the British MotoGP at the Silverstone circuit. Stewards considered Quartararo's actions as behavior that did not comply with marshal instructions and had the potential to endanger safety. In the world of motorcycle racing, cooperation with marshals is crucial, especially in the event of an accident. Uncooperative behavior is considered a serious offense, as it can slow down emergency response and increase the risk of further accidents. Although the fine is relatively small for a rider of Quartararo's stature, a ban at the start of the FP1 session could definitely disrupt the rhythm of his preparation for the race. Every minute on the track is precious, especially for Quartararo, who is currently struggling to improve the performance of the Yamaha YZR M1, which has not been competitive this season. So far, neither Quartararo nor Yamaha has made an official statement regarding the incident or the sanctions imposed. However, this sanction is an important reminder that professionalism and compliance with regulations are non-negotiable in a MotoGP Class World Championship. On the other hand, incident at the last corner of Le Mans. While the race was taking place in wet track conditions due to rain, Quartararo, who started from an unfavorable position, lost control of his bike at the last corner of the fourth lap. He slipped and fell off his bike. When the marshals tried to help, the camera captured a moment where Quartararo looked frustrated and there was quite a tense interaction between him and the track officials. This action, according to the steward's report, was considered a form of non-compliance with the instructions of the marshal on duty. They said that Quartararo's attitude was not only unsportsmanlike, but also jeopardized the safety of others on the track, including the marshals who have a heavy duty to ensure the smooth and safe running of the race. FP1 fines and penalties at British MotoGP. For this incident, the FIM imposed administrative sanctions in the form of a fine of €2,000, around 37 million Indonesian rupiah. However, the more impactful sanction is a ban for Quartararo to take part in the first 10 minutes of the first free practice session, FP1, in the upcoming British MotoGP series at Silverstone. This is a pretty crucial form of time penalty for any rider, given that every minute on the practice track is crucial for data collection and technical strategizing. Impact on preparation and performance. Yamaha have had a difficult time this season, with their YZR M1 bike struggling to compete with teams like Ducati, KTM and Aprilia. Quartararo, who had previously criticized the bike's performance, relies heavily on practice time to try out different setups that could give him an edge. Losing time in FP1 is not only a technical loss, but could also impact his confidence ahead of the race. Some analysts say that this punishment could be a strong warning from the MotoGP authorities to riders to maintain professional ethics, even in emotional post-crash conditions. Marshals are considered a vital part of race safety, and any violation of safety rules can set a dangerous precedent. No official response. Until now, there has been no official statement from Quartararo or Yamaha regarding the sanction. However, the situation is expected to spark further discussion about the pressures riders experience when under highly competitive conditions and the importance of emotional management in an extreme sport like MotoGP. The Bugatti circuit, Le Mans, always has a story to tell. But who would have thought that this year, the story written for Fabio Quartararo would be a bittersweet one, full of hope, filled with passion, and ending in tragedy on the racetrack. Under the grey skies of France, Fabio Quartararo started the weekend with a solid performance. With the full support of his supporters, the Monster Energy Yamaha rider was sharp from the free practice session. In qualifying, he showed impressive pace and managed to snatch a front-row starting spot, an achievement that fueled hopes that perhaps, this would be the stage for his resurgence. And when the starting lights went out, Quartararo immediately delivered a determined performance. He battled it out with the top riders, trying to maintain his position amidst pressure from the technically superior bikes. The race was fierce, with plenty of overtaking moments and incidents that had the crowd holding their breath. However, fate would have it differently. In the midst of trying to maintain his rhythm and avoid attacks from behind, Quartararo's Yamaha M1 appeared to lose traction in one of the fast corners. In an instant, he lost control, slipped, and fell to the gravel. His attempts to get back up were fruitless. Quartararo was out of the race, only able to watch the rest of the race from the side of the track with a blank stare. Not just disappointed, Quartararo looked devastated. In front of his own fans, he was unable to finish the race. This moment was a reminder of the immense pressure that home riders are under, when high expectations can turn into a mental burden that haunts every corner. The 2025 Sierra Leonean Leon's Man's MotoGP race was full of drama. Several top riders also had incidents, making this race one of the most chaotic in this season's calendar. But for Fabio, the crash wasn't just a loss of points, it was a loss of momentum, confidence, and hope of getting back on track. Even so, the public knows that Quartararo is a fighter. He has proven that in the past, from the hard times to finally winning the world title. Now, he must come back from rock bottom, improve his performance, and mentally prepare for the next series. After the race, Quartararo could only shrug. "Today is not mine," he said briefly. But from the look in his eyes, it was clear that he had not given up. On the other hand, the cheers of the spectators in the stands encouraged the 2021 MotoGP World Champion. All eyes were on him. An aggressive start, sharp maneuvers, and a distinctive racing style made Quartararo look ready to give the best results in front of his own public. However, that hope must be dashed sooner than imagined. In a race that was filled with high tension and drama between riders from the start, Quartararo had bad luck. Midway through the race, he lost control of his bike and crashed at one of the fast corners. The crash immediately ended his fight at Le Mans, and he was forced out of the race early. A very disappointing moment, both for him, the Yamaha team, and the fans who had expected a lot from his performance. This is not the first time Quartararo has struggled this season. Consistency has been a big challenge for Yamaha, and Le Mans further emphasized how competitive and tough the competition is in MotoGP right now. Although he has shown potential since the beginning of the weekend, a small mistake or non-ideal conditions can immediately lead to disaster. The race itself was chaotic and full of dramatic action. Several riders were involved in incidents, including several championship candidates. Position changes continued to occur until the last lap, making the Le Mans Series one of the most exciting and unpredictable races of the season. For Quartararo, it was clearly a bittersweet weekend. Starting from pole position on home turf and ultimately failing to finish the race was certainly a heavy mental blow. But as he often says, the world of MotoGP is full of ups and downs, and he will try to rise in the next series. The 2025 Sierra Leonean Leones Mans MotoGP is a reminder that in the world of racing, speed alone is not enough. It takes strategy, endurance, and a bit of luck to truly master the track, something that unfortunately did not favor Fabio Quartararo this time.
You're rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that? I think she's feeling me. Turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease. Bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me. Cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase. Got some egos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming closer for a taste, and I'll show you how I make everything just fade away. Cause she's like sex, drugs, cocaine, body so insane. Jealous of the clothing that she wears up on that tight frame. All game, no shame, baby came here to play. I feel like an addict cause she's sex, drugs, cocaine. Got a fine little body and her mind's kinda naughty. They say that once you taste it, you cannot replace it. She could get you high, all the dopamine inside triggers fast once she's naked. Her body's a creation. They say the devil made her for his entertainment, but even he couldn't learn how to contain it. Her high heels make a damn good statement. There is no replacement, a body by Satan. Cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place. Off the liquor that we chase. Got some egos to the face, baby, I don't need no space. Coming